So the next topic we'll be covering today is going to be using start points in 2.5 axis operations. So I'm going to go back and switch to the previous example we were working on. So start points, we'll talk about how start points works in operations like profiling, and then we'll also take a look at how it affects in pocket operations as well. Now, when we program a profile operation, typically it uses the start point of the curve for the location where the entry and exit is applied. Now, when you select a chain of face edges, the start point is applied, is basically utilized from the first face edge that you select for the start point of the curve. Now, in the profiling operation, by default, use midpoint of the longest side is chosen for the location of the start point. So when this box is checked, the start point is determined based on the midpoint of the longest edge, which could have been one of this edge or could be this edge. So in this particular case, it happens to be this particular edge. Now, if I go ahead and clear this checkbox and then generate it, it applies the start point where the first face edge of the curve was selected or the start point of the curve is selected. So if you're selecting a curve or a curve geometry for profiling, so in this example, I'm going to be selecting a curve geometry, and you'll notice that the start point for the curve is over here. When I generate the toolpath, the entry and exit is applied where the start point of the curve is. Now there's a couple of ways how we can change the start point. One is we can move the start point of the curve that you selected using the CAD tools available in the host CAD system. In this case, it's going to be Rhino. In Rhino, we can change the start point using the command called curve edit tools, adjust close curve seam. You can pick the curve, and you can actually notice that when you select the curve, it displays a point with an arrow, and you can left click and drag the start point to a desired location. So I'm going to move it closer to the origin over here, left click again, and then right click to accept the start point of the curve. Now, when we made the change to the start point, the operation that utilizes the curve is automatically flagged dirty. So you can see that the control geometry is also flagged dirty, indicating that the toolpath needs to be updated. So right click and regenerate will now update it so the start point, the entry and exit is applied where the start point is. Now this is one of the ways how you can move the start point. Now, instead of moving the start point of the underlying curve geometry in Rhino, you could change the start point using predefined regions in RhinoCam. So you can create a curve region by selecting the curve. And once you define the curve region, you'll notice that it displays where the start point is for the curve region. And you can use select start point command and pick the start point location. So without modifying the start point of the curve that you built in Rhino, we're just using the predefined regions to move the start point around. Now, once you move the start point of the predefined region, you can select the predefined region in your machining operation by using select predefined region, select it, and generate. So now, based on where the start point that you've set in the predefined region, the entry and exit takes place at the location of the start point. Again, I can move the start point of the predefined region, right click to accept it, and I make the change, right click, regenerate to update the toolpath. Now, this is how we do it in RhinoCam for predefined regions. The same also goes with Visual CAD CAM for predefined regions and all of our CAM products. Now, for folks who are using our standalone Visual CAD CAM product, I'm going to quickly show you how we can change the start point of the underlying curve using our host CAD system in Visual CAD. So once you have your, if you're selecting the curve as your part region, you can also display the curve direction and arrow by going to the options in Visual CAD, we can display it. So that displays the curve direction, start point, arrow. And you will notice that I'm going to switch the view to wireframe, so it just makes it easier for you to view it. You can see the start point of the curve is over here. And to move the start point of the underlying curve, you can go to the curve modeling tab and use this change start command, and you can move the start point anywhere along the curve. So I can move it right here, and the start point is now changed to this location. And you can just basically select the operation for profiling and then choose the curve geometry for creating a toolpath. And by clearing the checkbox for use midpoint of the longest side. So if you're selecting the curve as your part region for profiling, you can change the start point by moving the start point of the curve using change start in Visual CAD, or you might by defining a predefined region by selecting the curve region in here and then specifying a start point for the curve region. And then using the predefined region as your curve region for the operation. So we covered how to choose start points in profiling operation. I'm going to quickly go over how we can apply start points in pocketing operations. If you're working with hard materials, and typically you would want to have a pre-drilled hole, so you can use the location of the pre-drilled hole as your start point on a pocket operation. So in this particular example here, I have created a point that is at the center of the hole. And in the pocket operation, I could go to start points and select this point as a start point for the pocket operation. And generating the toolpath will use the start point for the location of the plunge motion and will apply the ramp around the start point. So you can pick start points in operations like 2-axis profiling as well as 2-axis roughing operations. The next topic I'll be covering here is how to control entry and exits.
Uday, before you jump on that, since there were quite a few questions on start points, I just wanted to mention, since all of you are AMS customers, in our 2021 release, which is going to be coming out end of the year or early next year, we have actually changing the way we're introducing a new method for start points for profiling. It'll act very similar to the pocketing. You would be, in fact, be able to select geometry as start points, and then we will honor that in profiling. So I think it's going to be a really good change. This was implemented based on a lot of your requests. So look forward to that. Thanks, Uday.